Now I want to talk about something that is needed, can be achieved even though life is caving down on you, but something that is missing from most people is natural joy. People are happy with certain things in their life. If they got a new car, they got a new job, they got something, so they're experiencing some joy. That's one level of simcha, of joy and happiness. Then another level is that they participated in some joyful event, a wedding, bar mitzvah, a party, different type of joy that you can receive. Another level of happiness that we experience is from good food. Some people give them good food, that's their joy. Some people don't care. I'm just trying to paint a picture that each person finds ways to get little bites of joy because it's very hard to get the natural joy. So it's natural that when you are unhappy, you seek something to bring you that happiness. Unfortunately, nothing really brings you happiness in this world but what will come from the internal part of the neshama. You can have all the money of the world, healthy, beautiful kids and wife, success, anything. If your neshama is not happy, if your soul is not happy, you won't be happy. And the complete opposite. You can have debt, be poor, trouble from here till tomorrow, and you jumping up and down. The conclusion from that, joy, happiness, simcha, is not coming from anything in this world. It's true that some things will give you a moment of joy. And I gave different examples that you can relate. You know, a good meal will give me in my scale from 1 to 10. Good food in my scale will give me joy number 4. Number 8 will be, no, thank you. Number 8 will be, learning Torah. I'm talking about in my scale. Every person has what gives them joy. Another person, what gives them the most joy is to do good to another person. And another individual, and listen, we are not prophets, we're not saints. Sometimes you need a little physical fix to get some joy. Listen, life is not so easy. And sometimes you need a little outlet, and you need something to give you a dose of simcha. So some people do it with alcohol, they'll get drunk on Shabbat. Or get drunk every day. Or some people will watch a movie or go to a sports game or do sports or whatever. You got the point. The point is that we constantly seek for happiness. We are stuck on the fact that happiness comes from things in this world. Even if you understand in your mind, because you're all nodding, even if you understand in your mind that physical things don't bring you joy, we still pursue the physical things to get the joy that they bring us. And we're still in a level of limitation that I don't understand that if I go to the right source, then the simcha will be real, and then I don't have to run after the little things that bring me simcha. So like I told you not once and not twice, you want good advice. I have a few great teachers that I go for advice. One of my favorites is King David. The book of Tehillim is full of advice. It says in chapter Tehillim, Tzadik Zayin, 97, verse Yud Aleph 11, it says, Or zaru al tzadik uleishrei lev simcha. Translation, a light is shone, S-H-O-W-N, shone, for the righteous, and for the upright of heart, joy. From this Tehillim we learn that when the person's heart, the word it says in Hebrew, because it says Uli Yishrei Lev Simcha. Yishrei means yashar, something straight. Straight is when a person is honest, no double face, no pretending. Straight heart, that's the saying in Hebrew. Lev yashar, Yishrei Lev. This verse is coming to tell us that when a person, his heart is straight, then by default, in a natural way, that person will be happy. True joy, simcha, will waken up constantly from this heart. This joy that we're looking for, and I don't know if I'm saying the right word, joy, by the way. I'm saying here joy because he translated the word simcha to joy. I'm referring to the word simcha. It can be happiness, can be joy, can be laughter. Well, laughter, no, that will be a different word. But we're stuck right now either on joy or happiness. One of the two. The true happiness that you're looking for is the most excessive and natural thing that you have. It's just that we don't let it happen. And it's exactly like our health. We prevent our body from being healthy. We are the enemy of our own body. When it's coming to health, I'm talking about. The body is so sophisticated and so strong and so unique that it can heal yourself from anything. Just let it do it. We don't let the body do it. With the chemicals that we take, with different treatments that we do. But the reality is, leave the body alone, it will heal itself. And when I'm saying leave the body alone, first of all, you need to give it the right amount of sleep, the right nutrition, and anything else that the body needs. But don't interfere with all sorts of external things. The body will heal itself. This is the exact same thing naturally in our system. Which means that naturally, according to David HaMelech, if my heart is pure, by default I will be full of joy and happy. So what am I getting here? That I need my heart to be pure. Now I'm using the word right now, pure. David HaMelech used the word Yishrei Lev. Lev is the heart. Yishrei comes from the word Yashar. Yashar means straight. In Hebrew, Yashar also means honest. And Yashar also means in Hebrew that you're truthful. So Lev Yashar is that you pursue truth. You care about the truth. You don't like lying. You don't like coming to a situation that you have to say words of deceit. Now, the irony here, I told you that 28 years prior to me becoming observant, I was a liar. Everything with me was lies. I lied in business, made millions of dollars. I lied to people. All relationships were all based on lies. Everything with me was a lie. Why? I got my way. Faster, cheaper, better. When I became observant, I didn't pursue studying in yeshiva. That was way beyond my capability. The first year of my becoming observant is stop doing the bad things you do. Don't find the time now to learn and pray. First, stop. I couldn't pray. In my mind, my common sense, because I didn't have a rabbi the first few years, my common sense said, you cannot pray. You're not ready to pray. Because your mouth is dirty, you lie, you cheat, you slander, you gossip, you use foul language, your mouth can't pray. Your mind is impure, how can you focus on your prayer? So I would just put tefillin on, say Shema Yisrael, that was my prayer, and Birkot HaShachar, the morning prayers. So my common sense, it wasn't guidance from a rabbi, the common sense says, first sur mera, clean the junk. Stop lying. Stop cheating. Stop deceiving. Stop saying Lashon Hara. Stop cursing. You know how my language was? Every word that I said came with some other word attached to it. Some type of an addition. You know, not the A word or the B word, the C, all the words. So what was in my mind was like, first, reduce the problem. Start closing, like I saw it like a hole full of leaks, a lot of water coming everywhere, and just closed all the leaks. So one of the first things that was most important to me in my mind is stop lying. You can't lie. Everything has to be emet. Because if I have to summarize my entire experience in the world above in one word is emet. That's it. What did you learn from your visit to the world above? Hashem only likes truth. That's why the world above is called Olam HaEmet, the world of truth. This world is called Alman Deshikra, the world of deceit, the world of lying. All that Hashem cares about is emet. The seal of Hashem, Chotam HaEmet, seal of truth. The Torah, emet. Everything is emet. So if you want to be aligned with Hashem, you have to be emet too. Emet is that you're true. You're truthful. You don't lie. You don't exaggerate. Exaggerating is lying. You don't add details. It is what it is. This is the truth. Deal with it. So any person that wants to achieve closeness to Hashem is only to pursue truth. Rule number 1. Come David HaMelech and he says, Or zaru al tzedek u'lishrei lev simcha. Lishrei lev, a person that his heart is straight, then what would be the result? Simcha. It doesn't matter your financial situation or your marital situation. It matters how pure your heart is. When I became observant, I told you that hundreds of times. I bought a notebook in a convenience store that cost me $1, and a pen for cost another $1. And every time that I lied, I opened up this little notebook, because the lie came out instinctively. And I wrote the time of the day and the lie. And at the end of the day, I didn't know what's Kriyat Shema L'Amidah. I'm talking about the first year of me becoming observant. I didn't have any guidance. I didn't say Kriyat Shema L'Amidah, but at the end of the day, I read my notebook. And I read all the lies that I said, how many times, and what was the lie. And every day was 30, 40 lies and nonsense. When are you there? I'm there in 5 minutes. I'm there in 20 minutes. I'm late. I'm there in 5 minutes. Why are you lying? Just say, I'm there in 20 minutes. I'm late. I'm going to be running late. I'm sorry. And all the lies were nonsense. Really nonsense. If you listen to yourself how much you lie, that's when you realize that you're adding so much information. Somebody calls you, oh, no, I'm not home right now. I'm going to be home in 3 hours. Why you have to catch yourself in the slide? Just say, right now I'm not available. I can't attend this situation this second. Or I can't talk. Or don't pick up the phone. Or whatever. Listen, I can't give you now advice how not to lie. But the point is, if you monitor yourself, you have to be humble. If you monitor yourself, you'll see that you lie all the time. Now comes a situation that happens to the ones who work on their lying, and I'm telling you, if you don't do it, this is a big part of your tshuva. Because Hashem only wants truth. 3 times a day we say, Karov Hashem lechol korav, lechol asher yikru be'emet, with truth. So if part of your tshuva is not to figure out your lying situation, that's not good. And I know a lot of people say, I never lie. I also said that. Sometimes you are required to lie. And that's what I'm talking about. That sometimes when you're working on the midah of emet, you will be tested that you have to lie. And you really don't like it. And you have to say something or say the truth. What's going to happen? What's going to happen now? So now we're not going to do a class about how not to lie. I want to emphasize that a true heart, an honest person with a pure heart, by default will bring you the joy you want. So, as I'm telling you, you don't have to do much. It's naturally there. It's almost like I come and tell you now, and I quote, I don't say it on myself. There's electricity in the air, okay? Tesla said that. And not me. Don't come to me. But we just don't know how to take it from the air. He invented a device that can take the electricity from the air. Of course, I'll choose not to say what I wanted to say, but nevertheless, he didn't live long. And now you pay every month, you are a slave to the electricity company. Then you're paying for nothing you don't have to pay for. Okay? I said that already 3-4 years ago. You're paying for air with the electricity companies. They're taking money for you for no reason. There's electricity everywhere. Okay? You don't know how to not take it, you don't know how to manifest, you don't know how to transform it from here to in a battery. Yeah. So simcha is everywhere. You just don't know how to do that little shift that it's there. And the example that I gave you with the health of the body, leave your body alone, it will heal itself from everything. You preventing the body from healing itself by pushing into the body the wrong nutritions or in the wrong time. When I'm saying the wrong time, most people drink and eat at the same time. First no-no of Rambam, not to mix the liquid and the hard food. Rambam says, drink 2 hours before the meal and an hour after the meal. Simple. Follow this, I guarantee to you, you'll already have an upgrade in your health. So we prevent our body from healing itself. But the fact is that if we don't bring into our body toxins, it will always be healthy. Same thing with my neshama. Don't bring in toxins, you'll be happy. So before we continue, ask yourself a question. Can you say that you are a happy person? If on the RAF, on your RAF, you're pretty high, good. Class might not be for you. Still listen, you might learn one thing. There are a lot of people that they're naturally happy with their difficulties, with their challenges. The difficulties and challenges is like a day job. You have to do it. Right. You know that most people in the world don't like their job, but you have to do it. So our challenges, it's like a day job. Do it, finish with it. The faster you finish with it, put it aside. But that's a fraction of people that they really naturally happy. The majority are not naturally happy. They constantly need those little fixes because the system is unhappy, so they need little doses. A quick movie, a quick meal, something to get the joy up and running. But really, like I told you, it's in the system, built in the system. You just need to know how to reach out to it. Now, you have to understand that simcha, true simcha, is a magnet. It pulls to it light, it pulls to it parnasa, it pulls to it health, it pulls everything. A person that is happy pulls to him everything. Excuse me, a person that is unhappy will never be healed from any medical situation they have. Chinese medicine teaches that if a person is gave up, meyuash, you can't heal him. You can't heal him from the disease. And if the person has true simcha, from the worst diseases he can be healed. I can tell you that my grandmother was a very special woman. One of her qualities that she was, her amazing qualities, that she was constantly in gratitude to Hashem. And the second thing is she was constantly besimcha. She was diagnosed with cancer when she was 86. They told her she has 3 months to live. She died 6 years later. She told them, you're not putting me in a toaster oven. I'm going to go home. I'm going to live my life. And I'll see you every few months for a general checkup. And as they call it in the medical field, medical miracle. And she lived another 6 years. When her doctor told her, you have colon cancer and this cancer and this cancer, I had 3 months tops. If you do chemo, 6 months. Then she lived 6 years. Why? Because she was all the time besimcha. I went to visit her months before she died. She was in her 90s, skin and bones, and she was playing her Frank Sinatra records and, schmoozing around the room, whatever she liked. With Frank Sinatra, who was the other one? I don't remember. She was besimcha. Sammy Davis, I don't remember. 50s. Simcha. The Rabbi Nachman says something interesting. He says the letters of the word simcha is the same letters of mishcha. Here is a shin, here is a sin, but the same letters. Mishcha is an ointment or some gel you rub on. Usually, what happens when you rub something on your body, it doesn't heal. It pushes the whatever came out inside. So a lot of people, they have a skin issue or something. Toxins are coming out from the skin. If the toxins don't come out from your urine or your sweat or your excrement, the toxins need to come out all the time. If you're preventing from the toxins to come out, it will come out one way or another. So it will come on the skin. So you get all the diseases on the skin. What will the doctor give you? A cream. But the cream, you just push the thing back in. You didn't do anything. Same thing here. If I have fake simcha, then it's temporary. The quick meal, the good steak, the movie, the being dressed nice. And again, everything is good. I also like a lot of things. I also love good food. When do I pleasure good food? On Shabbat. Enjoy. Then it's a mitzvah. When do you pleasure good? I like beautiful clothes. On Shabbat. On Shabbat, you wear the nicest of all your clothes. You enjoy marital relations? On Shabbat. On Shabbat, everything is a mitzvah. You can't go wrong. So do everything on Shabbat and enjoy it. There's nothing wrong with all these things. But that's not the source of simcha. And the same way that it's something temporary, then the simcha is temporary. It's very, very simple. And the thing is that whatever you will push deep into the neshama, it will surface at some point. Every person needs to bring on himself simcha. It's not that you wake up in the morning and the bank called, or the landlord called, or somebody called, and I'm not in a good mood today. That's not true. The fact is that even if life is caving in front of your face, you can pull on yourself the simcha yourself. And not only that, by that you can also monitor how much your simcha is. And one needs to do that. Because one of my avodot, one of my things that I need to do is to bring simcha on myself. And I know a lot of people, they depending on simcha on external things. But the reality, disconnect all the external things and understand that even your mood, all the external things, money, messages, sometimes a person just gives you a message, that's it, your whole day is ruined. The other day, somebody didn't tell me something, told me 2 days later, I said, why didn't you tell me? I didn't want to bother you, I didn't want to, no, how they say, I didn't want to make you upset. So you pushed the news in 2 days? After 2 days, I'm not going to be upset. And now I'm more upset because 2 days passed. Just tell me what's the news. But the fact is that sometimes you hear news, ruins your day. So we have to understand that we cannot depend on true joy not on money, not on the news, not on what's going on. And now what's going on in the world, 5 minutes of the news, then you're depressed. All day long, what's going on, wars and Hashem Yerachem. So, I have to understand, first message of the class, my simcha is not dependent on external things. Not money, not how I look, not how other people look, not where I live. All these things, can affect you, but should not. Which means you cannot depend your joy and happiness or your sadness and despair on an event that happened in your life. If you are unhappy or happy because something happened in your life, that's where your gauge have to tell you you're doing something wrong. Okay? If I get extremely happy because I bought something new or I achieved something, but it's external and I'm happy for a day or two, that's not the true happiness. It will pass, and that's it. The happiness will go down. And this goes both ways. But nevertheless, anything that will happen throughout my life, and I'm giving an example with money, it can be, other things. Now again, you have to be very patient with how you take what I say, because I know a lot of people will twist what I'm saying by saying, yesterday my brother got married and it was a big simcha and it brought me great joy. That's something external. Well, first of all, you can probably twist anything and say that's external. First of all, a wedding is not. It's a big event. It's a joyful event. Now, what brings you joy? The fact that you were wearing a beautiful suit and you ate their good steak and drank wine and everybody saw how beautiful you look? Did that bring you joy in the wedding? Or what brought you joy is the fact that your brother or your friend or whatever came together with their other half and they're going to build a home and there was a holy wedding and there was a separation in the dancing and kosher food. What brings you joy in the external event? Take this example And what we need to understand is that the events in my life can contribute, but they don't create the joy. So, what you need to take, not money, not success, not fame, not what I wear, not what I drive, not where I live, should bring me the joy that I'm experiencing. It should be things because I like it, because it's good, because it's nice. The joy is already built in and it's not coming through external things. What I need to remember is, like I told you, that simcha attracts things to it. You are in a state of joy, you attract your parnasa, your livelihood. You attract your other half. You attract good business deal. You attract the right people. Because your energy that is projecting out is so good, it can only attract good. So, if a person is naturally happy, you see that people want to be next to that person. Everybody's drawn to that person. And if a person is very moody or upset or angry, nobody wants to be next to that person. You sit next to a person with a pickle face, they open their mouth by saying, okay, thank you, I don't need to hear your headache. And you get up and leave. You say, I have enough of my own. The problem is that if a person is sad, sadness has the motion of sucking. It's called yenika. A sad person sucks away your energy. You sit next to a sad person, sad, despair, all that, they suck all your energy, and the other way around. A person who's joyful in their heart, before we used a term, Yishrei Lev, straight heart. We also have a term, Simcha Amitit Shebalev, or Lev Sameach. We also experience a lot of simcha and joy in our heart. That's again why David HaMelech says, your heart is pure, that's where you bring your simcha from. So, nobody likes to be next to a depressed individual. Nobody wants to be depressed and sad themselves. You know, when you're depressed or you're unhappy, you push away all the shefa. You push away good people from you. Shefa is the abundance, the blessing. Hashem wants to give you a blessing, and you push it away. So, and even if you don't do anything, that's the reality. Now, the joy, the Baal HaSulam says, the simcha is the mirror of your good actions. The Baal HaSulam says that when I do good actions, or good deeds, then what would mirror it is joy. And not only that, when I do a certain action, the word in Hebrew is called tolada. I tried many times to find the right word in English for this word. There's not just a good word for it in English, because the dictionary is bringing to me words that make sense, but it's not the translation. Tolada is that I have a situation, and from that something is birthed from it. So it can be many different things. It can be spiritual, physical, it can be intellectual. But the word is called tolada. And I'll give you an example of one way of tolada, is when Adam and Chava, Hashem told them, come together, be fruitful and multiply, that we can have generations. This is tolada. You made an action that now is causing a continuation. Another generation, another generation, another generation, another generation. Another example is I plant a tree. The first action is the planting of the tree. What's the tolada? That now every year I have fruit. And it will never stop unless I cut the tree. So the tolada of my actions is what's going to bring the joy. So where am I really getting my real action? Real simcha? From my action. From my own action. Not from your action even. My own action is where I can nourish true simcha. Very simple. Now again, simcha, when I'm talking about, I'm not talking about jumping up and down in the street from joy, and I'm not talking about the type of simcha that people get by losing their consciousness, if it's alcohol, drugs, or other things. That's not what we're talking about. But nevertheless, you cannot be truly happy if your heart is not 100% pure. Which is very interesting, because one might say, I know many wicked people and they look very happy. Thank you. You answered. You said, you went one step ahead of me. Look, happy. So I can only testify on myself. I was once a wicked person, and wicked in the level of the terms of the Torah, because you can be the chairman of all the non-for-profits in the world, and everybody thinks that you are a kind person, and you might be very kind. But if you do one sin, the Torah calls you wicked. So when I'm saying I was wicked, I was wicked based on the definition of wicked. I wasn't a nice person. I stole, cheated, lied, everything. Violence, the whole 9 yards. And so that's in the physical. And listen, that's the truth. The truth is, and it doesn't matter right now why. You can't argue with facts. I was a very not nice person. That's it. Why? I don't know. Maybe Hashem took me, not maybe, Hashem took me where He took me, so eventually the polarity will be heaven and earth. Because where Hashem took me in my life, you can only see two ends. So, not to... it says one should not remind a person of his sins. But to make the point, I wasn't a nice person. So I was wicked, actual wicked, but I was also wicked based on the definition of the Torah. Not only because my actions. So according to the Torah, I was Rasha, Mamash Rasha. Now, according to that, I can testify that, on the external part, I was very happy. Because I had a lot of money. I had anything that I wanted. Whatever I liked, I bought. I had fancy cars, beautiful clothes, went on vacation. So I constantly, my day was happy. I ate whenever I want, whatever I want. I got whatever. I was a very happy person on the surface. Because I had everything, what's called beheseg yad, in a reach of a hand. Didn't come with and listen, even though all the money came in a not a legal way, but I worked hard. It wasn't that but nevertheless, looking back, I can tell you that then I was happy with these moment things. How do you say, momentarily things? But I wasn't happy. I was a very unhappy individual. I wasn't happy with anything. Looking back, I can tell you, I had everything and nothing at the same time. Friends are not really friends. They all want somehow to use you. Every person in your life is just a user. They're not really good for you. All the momentary pleasures, it's bobkas. I found myself many, many times sad. So all the external things don't attract anything positive. The only thing that will attract the true simcha is your heart. If your heart is on the right path. Your heart is true, you'll have true happiness. Now when your heart is pure, then a supreme light, what's called Or Elyon, dwells on you. So you feel it on you. You are relaxed. You don't have any anxiety. You're not worried. You're not anxious. You're not confused about anything. Why? Because you are a chariot, more right to say you are a vessel to the supreme light, Or Elyon. If your heart is not pure, and you are jealous of this person, and you are angry at this person because he did something against you, it doesn't matter right or wrong right now, and you're very unhappy because that person has a more attractive wife, and that person has more money than you, and that person is smarter than you, and this person is more popular than you, and you're unhappy, and Hashem Elohim, what's going on in your heart? You're not going to be a happy person. If you're unhappy for other people because they're successful, your heart is not pure. Now, when a person fills his heart with emet, by default, the simcha, the true simcha, shines up the nefesh. So you can be in the worst situation, but you're smiling and you're happy. And I once asked my rabbi, how do I know my prayer was accepted? You pray every day. How do you know that prayer was accepted? So he told me, if you feel true happiness from within after the prayer, your prayer was it was good and it was accepted. That's your indication. Next time, go and pray, and then an hour or two later, you wait to see how you feel. If you feel some type of bubbling energy inside, then your prayer was good. If you feel the same lousy feeling, then the prayer was not good. And of course, you will blame it because you were thinking of how to solve the problem, and you were thinking of solutions. But that's not the time. Time to pray. It's time to pray, not to think of solutions. And when you pray with true faith and emunah in Hashem, then the prayer is right. Then you will attract the right energy. So the reality is that we are commanded to be happy. It says, mitzvah gdola liot besimcha. Right? Most people say, mitzvah gdola liot besimcha. What's mitzvah? A commandment. So I'm commanded to be besimcha. Don't look at it how you say, oh, it's a great mitzvah to do. It's not telling you it's a great mitzvah to do. It says you have to. It's not a recommendation. Mitzvah gdola liot besimcha. It's almost like saying, oh, I put tefillin on. Mitzvah gdola. I observed Shabbat. Oh, it's a great mitzvah. No, you are commanded to be happy. So but how can I be commanded to be happy? Imagine now you have financial stress, you have health issues, you have struggles, and now Hashem is coming and telling you, I order you, I command you to be happy. So you'll be like, how can you command somebody to be happy? What does it mean, mitzvah liot besimcha? Is that I have to do a mitzvah, davar shebekdusha, and then I'll get the simcha. So what am I commanded here? To do the dvar kedusha, but to do it in the right way. The text will say, dvar shel kedusha batzura hanechona. Because I can do things in kedusha, not in the right way. So what am I commanded? Do it the right way. Do the action, the dvar mitzvah, the right way, and that will bring you the simcha. You need to do the first action, and then I told you there's this tolada, this how do you say? Continuity? No. Continuity. That's the hemshechiyut. And not only that, there's another word for toldot, for hemshechiyut, is chronologically. So you do one action and it will start bringing a repetitive act. So really, when you are faced with the question if I'm happy or not, has nothing to do with what you hear on the news. Has nothing to do with how much money you have in your bank account, and if you're married, not married, you're healthy, you're not married. When a person does the dvar sheba mitzvah, a certain act of kindness, or the act of the mitzvah, that's what brings the simcha to the heart. You can't buy or bribe the system. So with that said, when the Baal HaSulam says that the simcha is the mirror to my action, so ask yourself, are you sad? Now again, I told you, many people will say, no, I'm fine. I have challenges in my life. I have a lot of challenges, but it doesn't affect my life. It doesn't affect my simcha. Then you're doing great. Then this class is good for you, but it should just bring you a chizuk, that keep on doing what you're doing. Where do you retrieve the true simcha from? Not from anything around me. I told you, all your challenges are your day job. Like you don't like your day job, you don't like your challenges. You have to do it. But what happens when it comes to a point that I'm really psychoanalyzing from within and I come to the conclusion, I'm unhappy, I'm unhappy, I'm not happy. Now I can be saying, I'm unhappy with my marriage. My wife is annoying me, etc., etc. I will build my case, and I now say I'm unhappy because of her. Now, this might be not far from the truth. Might be that you have a horrible relationship with your wife, and you're really unhappy. But you need to make the analysis, is your simcha affected? Is it something that is just bothering you, like a tooth pain, or some thorn in your shoe that you can't step on your heel? Or it's your unhappiness is that. So again, you need to make some type of an analysis. I can't help you with that. I can give you the advice, I can tell you where it's coming from. I cannot give you the feeling. I told you before, how do you know your tefillah was accepted? How do you feel after? Try today or tomorrow. When you're leaving the next prayer, see if you're happy or if you feel some type of a energized feeling. Even if you feel it a little bit, okay, the tefillah was good. That's it. Nothing changed, then you didn't pray right. You went, you did the effort, you didn't pray right. Simple. So when a person is finding himself in a place of sadness, right now in the world, 8 billion people, each and every one can raise their hand and say, today at 7:32 I was sad. Why? Because A, B, and C. Okay, a percentage of the time, it's a valid reason to be sad. Something big happened, you're sad. It's not that we're not allowed to be sad. We're allowed to be sad when I'm praying for the destruction of the Bet HaMikdash. You're allowed to be sad. You hear bad news, with all that's going on in the world, you can be sad, but not to an extent that it's affecting you. So if a person finds himself that they're sad, and they can look around and they're saying it's not coming from anything external as lack of money, bad relationship, no relationship, health situation. If all this, you can come to the conclusion that that's what's causing the sadness, then you know you're not in the right place. Because everything that I said and more should not affect your simcha or not. You have money, don't have money, sick, not sick. One has nothing to do with the other. If, again, you are affected by all the external things, you're in a bad situation. Which means your heart is not in the right place. You have to, again, make an analysis. If it's listen, I'm also sad when I get a ticket, or something bad happens, or sickness. But I'm sad, 2%, okay, and you move on. That's where you need to make your analysis. How sad are you from something external? If you find that something external is changing your mood, like I told you, you are go back to the beginning of the line, you're not doing well. You're not doing well means your neshama is not happy, you're not able to produce true happiness, it means you're not doing something well. You're doing something wrong. Even if you're doing a lot of mitzvot, you are doing something that your heart is not pure, figure it out, because it's not allowing you to be happy. If you pass that test and you find that you're sad and it's not because anything external, then you have to understand you're not in the right frequency. Something's wrong. If you are convinced 100% that it's not the lack of money, or your marital status, or the situation that's going on, stress, war, death, inflation, if you came to the conclusion that all this is not what's making you unhappy, then you're on the wrong frequency, and then you have to figure out what's going on. And, like I told you, it's okay to be sometimes sad. You lose a loved one, I'm not talking about something significant, not something stupid. Your football team lost. That's not a reason to be sad. A little bit sad is fine. You know when you should be sad? When we're crying on the destruction of the temple. When you're saying vidui, when you're doing tachanun, like I told you before, that's when you should be sad. Shamnu, bagadnu, gazalnu. You have to be sad for the stupid things you do. But really, if you are constantly stomping on sadness, like I told you, you are on the wrong frequency. Because the system that manufactures happiness is your heart. So, to conclude, we have to be constantly besimcha. Ivdu et Hashem besimcha. The fact that I am constantly besimcha, that's what will connect me to this supreme light, to this Or Elyon, that it's kind of, how you call it? I always forget the name. It's like you do it one time, like I told you, the continuation. You do it one time, and then by default it will continue. The kind of not duplicate, but it will. You do the first one, then you reach to a level of simcha. It makes you receptive to this Or Elyon, to this godly light. So it gives you more simcha. So now you're more closer to God. So now you're more unhappy. You're happy, and then you're more closer. So it's like, that's this continuity that that's what I said, that you do it the first time. Exactly. So you just need to do the first time, and you raise yourself to meet this godly light, this Or Elyon, the Zohar is talking about. That will give you the Shefa. Now you're starting all over again, but in a much higher level. So when the Torah is coming and telling me about the bad things that can happen, and it concludes by saying, "Ekev asher lo avadtem et Hashem besimcha ubetuv levav." Why is all the bad things happening? Like we read now in Parashat Bechukotai. It's from a different parasha, but it says, if you do what I tell you, everything will be good. You don't do you don't listen, then here are going to be the curses. In the bad things that will happen to us, what the Torah says, if we don't follow the Torah, it says clearly, "Ekev asher lo avadtem et Hashem besimcha ubetuv levav." Why is all this happening? Because you didn't serve Hashem with happiness, and tuv levav with a pure heart. So it means that if I don't serve Hashem with true simcha, that's when I bring the bad effect. But what he's trying to say here is that I didn't serve Hashem the right way. Forget about the simcha right now. If you serve Hashem right, by default you'll be happy. If I'm not happy, something's wrong. Something's wrong with my heart. It's not aimed to Hashem. If my heart is aimed to Hashem, I will always be happy, because my heart manufactures the simcha. So I need to be aimed to the Kadosh Baruch Hu, that my words are emet, my halicha, how I carry myself, all emet. My avodat Hashem, emet. Half the people, their avodat Hashem, their relationship with Hashem is not true. Next to people, they're one thing, and home it's a whole different thing. Who are you kidding? So everything in my life has to be emet. My heart becomes pure, leishrei lev. My heart is straight. Then you reach to the true level of simcha. Not anything external, not anything that you attribute the joy or not. You have to understand that what manufactures the simcha is my pure heart. Now, when I bring this simcha on myself, I become like a reactor of joy. So this joy makes other people happy. It makes other people be besimcha. Other people. And joy automatically will bring love. Most people, they don't get along in their marriage, not because there's no love, because there's no joy. Love, they started with loving each other. And when does the love starts diminishing? When there's no joy, no simcha, no love. When you have a lot of simcha, then you have love for everybody. You're not judgmental. You're not narrow-minded. You're not jealous. So we have to understand that not money, not respect, no honor, all these things can only give us a very momentary joy. But the real simcha, that not only that is there, it stays and continues, hemshechiyut, that's only when my heart is pure, only when my heart is clean. And like I told you, memorize yourself this pasuk. Because sometimes you need to memorize certain verses and you need to chant them to yourself. You have to memorize Kapitel Tehillim, like I told you. Number Tzadik Zayin 97, verse Yud Aleph. Or zaru al tzaddik u'lishrei lev simcha. We say that verse on Yom Kippur 7 times. Or zaru al tzaddik u'lishrei lev simcha. Or zaru al tzaddik u'lishrei lev simcha. You have to memorize that. Why? Or zaru al tzaddik, the light, the tzaddik with their action is planting the light. U'lishrei lev simcha. Clean your heart. That's it. That's where your happiness will come from. So I wish you to be able to clean your heart, to clean the junk from your heart, to be able to be always honest and truthful and pursue truth. Lirdov et haemet, to always pursue truth, not to look for all the shortcuts. And the true joy is only going to be manufactured in a pure heart. There's no better advice than that, and it sounds easier said than done. Very hard to get to a clean heart. That you really don't hold anger to somebody who did something to you. Deliberately. It's a journey that Hashem will take you. If you want a pure heart, then Hashem says, I will give you one, but it will come with a lot of hardship. And I can tell you that most people don't have a pure heart. Lev tov. It says in the Mishnah, in Pirkei Avot, what is the best thing, what is the best midah one should have? Each rabbi said, Ayin Tova, I should have a good eye looking at people, Chaver Tov, a good friend. And the best advice was Lev tov, good heart. The other day, somebody also asked me about Wishiduch, there's something about match. I said, I know you have to be attracted, I know many things, but you have to look for a good heart. Good heart, everything will fall in place. Person doesn't have a good heart, doesn't matter how much money, how gorgeous, how beautiful. So the advice I'm happy to give you, both coming from the Baal Sulam, from the one of his Ma'amarim, David HaMelech, and many others, Rabbi Nachman, the simcha, a lot of people, they get it wrong. You don't manufacture the simcha. And you can't buy the simcha, the joy, with physical things or certain situations. The only way to manufacture the real simcha is if you do your service to Hashem, your avodat Hashem, be'emet. That's it. That's how you will get it. Everything else is hevel, is air, is nothing. You want true simcha, you want not to be affected by what's going on around you, with all the stress and wars and financial stress and so many things. Serve Hashem with a pure heart, then you're going to be constantly in a state of simcha, even though, again, it's not going to you're going to be dancing up and down when there's a tragedy. But you will be in a state of simcha all the time. You just need to make sure that your heart is pure. And Hashem should bless you that you should reach to a pure heart, clean heart with no anger, no animosity, no jealousy, no holding grudge to anybody, letting go. I guarantee to you, you'll be happy, you'll be healthy, and all the rest of the challenges in your life will be this little after you get this holy light to shine on you.